Dizzle, let's go. What a time to be alive. We are in Power Slap, and it is incredibly exciting. The breaking news keeps on coming. We've got fallouts, we've got new signings, we've got match releases coming out, just coming off the training camp last week in Vegas. I mean, I can't remember a time that has been so busy as it's been now, and it's been fun. And I mean, just off the top, a brand new intro. You like it, Ding?
Yeah, man, I'm a big fan. I told our video guy, well done. I thought it was a good encapsulation of what we do here. So kudos to him. I don't know that there's been a time a month out from an event that we've been so lively and so much has been going on, right? Just to touch a couple of things, right? The big signing by Razor from Brit Slap, the heavyweight champion over there, coming over to Power Slap, making his debut later this year. We've got all these new athletes who were kind of hearing chatter from the combine, the more recent combine as well. We have some people from the combine back in May that are, potentially going to be fighting on these cards coming up here. And, we'll announce those as always. I do want to clarify quickly for anybody who's confused. The matches that we've announced so far are all scheduled to be displayed live. They're on the broadcast. You'll see them as a public viewer, whether you're there or whether you're watching, on YouTube. So all of that is going to be right there in front of you to see October 3rd. We'll begin releasing the early prelims / taped, whatever you want to call them, here in the next coming weeks. But some crazy matchups, man. And then, of course, a little bittersweet news, right? The retirement of Dwayne Crespo, real OG guy who's been around for a while. Gives a lot of coaching advice to people, both didactic as well as kind of, digital tips and tricks kind of thing. An archivist, a guy that has a lot of information regarding the sport, records, who's done this, who hasn't done this, that kind of thing, cool stats. So kudos to Dwayne Crespo on an incredible career. We look forward to seeing what you do next. And thank you for entertaining us for the last, almost 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Dwayne Crespo, definitely one of those early pioneers along the way in Power Slap. He's definitely going to be missed, both in the heavyweight division as well, and more recently, the super heavyweight division. But to say that was the biggest news of the week, I think is an understatement. The co-main event, Power Slap number 15, Luke Simons and Austin Turpin no longer taking place. And if you were a betting man, which I know you could, occasionally are, Ding, would you have ever thought when Stevie Ray Ellis would be the one that would be getting the call to take on one Austin Turpin at Power Slap number 15?
You know what? If anybody said that was on their bingo card, I'd call him a liar. Slap City made an interesting video about all these announcements. And one of the things he said that I thought was interesting was he wanted to set the line at 11 and a half people. So 11 people got called before Stevie Ray Ellis got called, is what his belief was. I thought that was an incredible stat. So shout out to Slap City for that, prediction. 11 people is a lot. I don't think it was 11, but I do think it was probably more than 5.
For sure.
But man, listen, kudos to Stevie Ray Ellis. I think the pressure of the world is probably on Austin Turpin at this point. I think Stevie Ray Ellis has 0 to lose. This is probably the most opportunistic moment that we've ever seen on one side going into a Power Slap match. People have been pretty vocal and open and honest on their comments and on the wonderful world of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, it is what it is. I can't say I'm mad at it. I can't say that I love it. I definitely cannot say I expected it. The guy fought at middleweight, a year and a half ago on the show. And we never saw him again, never heard of him again. I know him and Raiden were trying to get some stuff going on. Raiden obviously has moved on, is moving on to another promotion here. So nobody even knew. But I will say, though, before we bring our first guest on, if you don't get a call for a long time, this proves that you're not out until there's a letter that says you're released. Straight
100%.
up.
Yeah. I mean, I've smelled for you, though. I was able to speak to Stevie Ray Ellis earlier today. He actually ballooned up to 214 at one particular point. He's walking around 210 right now, so within striking distance of the 205 weight cap. He went back to his amateur MMA days. He went back to the gym that he recently competed with and connected with his coach. And you'll be able to see that interview live on Slap News in the coming days as it evolves. Overall, if there's one person that has a personality that I think could, I'm not going to say beat, but at least equal one, Austin Turpin. I think Stevie Ray is one of those guys. I think the entertainment factor in this is going to be absolutely insane. And as you alluded to, I think the spread in this one is going to be quite big. And we'll see where it goes. I mean, obviously, Austin was the coach when Stevie was on the show. I'll let you say it because I don't remember exactly the words that he had for him, but something along the lines of,
yeah, he said he thought he came out of the mental asylum. He said he thought they found him out of the mental asylum. He said he was ludicrous. I think he meant he's a lunatic.
Mhm.
But yeah, Stevie Ray Payne was interesting on the show, man. I think we said something similar on the final slap. But without further ado, we'll talk about all of that throughout the night. So I'm sure some of our guests will have some conversations about it. But I want to get to our first guest. She's waiting in the wings.
Run through all the guests first. Who's on? Go through all the guests.
First, we're gonna get started. It's first of all, it's 3 people from this latest combine, which took place last Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. That is going to be our first guest kicking us off here. Who you'll meet in a second is Cammy Adams. Then we're going to move over to Luke Curtis, who was also part of the camp, and we're going to close out with one of the Tongan twins. I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce her first name, so if I say it wrong, I will get that cleared up when she comes here. But Tahine, she's one of the Tongan twins. She'll close us out, and then, like I said, we'll do what we do and talk about some of the stuff. So I don't know a ton about Cammy. That's by design. I want to learn, just as you guys want to learn about her, what she's doing here, what her interests are. So without further ado, I'll bring in our first guest, Cammy Adams. Cammy, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good. Good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Pretty crazy, circus we got going on here, but glad that you were able to join us. Welcome to not only Smack Talk, welcome to Slap News, welcome to Power Slap. Really happy to have you. So let's start off. Give me a little, if somebody said, tell me about yourself, but they're from Power Slap, right? So the pertinent things to Power Slap, your combat background, that kind of thing. What would you tell me?
All right. So my background is MMA. I am a professional MMA fighter. I've taken a little bit of a break. I accomplished some other goals. I wanted to challenge myself in a different way. So I haven't taken a fight in probably 2.5 years, and that's okay. I am also a certified personal trainer. So it's always been MMA, fitness, and I also teach yoga. So basically, I do a lot of things: fitness, wellness, MMA, and with Power Slap, it's just a new challenge. And the more that I get into it and learn about it, the more excited I am. So in my professional MMA career, I actually have fought some of the girls in Power Slap. And so when they got in, I was like, this is going to happen. So hopefully I get to slap some of them. But that's me. That's who I am. I've been fighting and training and doing my thing.
Can you tell us, I know one at least, but can you tell us, who some of those ladies might be?
Yeah. Jackie Cataline. And with that fight, I took it on 12 days notice. I had no idea I was going to be fighting her. It was such like a freak thing. It's one of those fights as a fighter that I am on the other end of her highlight reel. That's just MMA. That's the sport. Like one of you is going to be on someone's highlight reel. And it was a shitty night for me. I don't know if I can say that, but it wasn't good. And so when I saw she was on here, I don't know. I thought it'd be a good chance to revisit that fight and see what would happen in Slap. She's my friend. Like she knows. So sometimes friends go at it harder than, non-friends. So.
For sure. I mean, it seems like a lot of the ladies involved in this kind of swirl around each other in some ways. I know you were in the camp with a lot of professional wrestlers, a lot of them have wrestled each other, both men and women. Jackie has also fought Jessalyn Michelle, who's also, she was set to debut back at Power Slap 13.
Oh, I
she
didn't know that.
She may be seen here soon in the near future. But there's a lot of that synergy.
Mm-hmm.
So Jackie got you kind of interested, so to speak, right? Piqued your interest. But how did you actually sort of get the deal done to where it's like, hey, you're going to come to this camp and we're going to show you what all this is about? Who was the catalyst to that?
You know what? Before Jackie, I had gotten invited to a few events. I do live here in Vegas. Obviously, I'm on the MMA scene, so I got invited to a few events. And even when I went to events, I wasn't necessarily interested. It's a vibe and it's fun to go to the events, but I didn't think much of it. But as the sport grew and more girls that I knew were getting into it, that's when I was like, I can do this. Like, It would be fun. Originally, is it Petty Corner is her Instagram name? She was like, you need to go. And she set me up. I went to the combine and it was fun. It was a great 2 days. And there's so much more that goes into it. I think people think it's not as technical or it's not like a sport. There is so much that goes into it. So it's really fun and it is a challenge.
I know I'm breaking the cardinal rule here, and I apologize in advance. But here it's kind of appropriate to ask this question. So I'm going to ask you, what weight class would you like to compete in?
You know what? Either 145 or 135. I've consistently been getting smaller over the past couple of years that I took a break. And so I walk around at about 150. So 145 is really easy for me, but I think I can make 135. So there's a few girls at 125 I would slap too. So if they wanted to come up, that might be an option.
Yeah. So what's your, what's your base, so to speak, in MMA? Are you a wrestler, you're a striker, jiu-jitsu? Like,
I started in Muay Thai. I'm much more of a striker. So slapping is right up my alley.
There you go. One of the, I guess the aspiration that I find with a lot of ladies is the knockout, because it doesn't happen often at all. Jackie has one. Unfortunately, it wasn't, legal. Her opponent, Sheena, who that happened to, has quite a few. Outside of that, there's been a couple of knockdowns, right? Hollywood, Haley J, Paige Van Zandt against Christine Wolmerand. So it's not super common. Is that sort of something that motivates you as well, or do you just want to have a great performance and you're kind of just focused on competing and kind of being great at it?
No, I think as a stand-up fighter, you always want the knockout. Always. I do have that. So yeah, we'll figure it out, make it happen.
Now, talk to me about the training camp experience. I think, and this is your world, not mine, so feel free to tell me that I'm completely wrong. But I feel like in MMA, there's a healthy competition, right? It's not as friendly is not the right word. Within your camp, it's friendly, but people from other, it's kind of like maybe we train together once or twice, but generally we're not like buddy. Power slap still, especially in these close proximity environments like the camps, or if you were in the house, a lot of people get along and they kind of get close. And I feel like in the past I'll use the word worse, but I don't know if people prefer that or don't, but it was very like, oh, you're my brother or my sister, I love you, I'm gonna fight with you, but you're my favorite person in the world. And it was just, for a fan, it was kind of like, okay, like, are they gonna make out on stage or what? Are they gonna fight? So for you attending the training camp, what was your vibe? Like, did you feel like there was that camaraderie and kind of those relationships? And was that weird to you? Or were you like, man, this is awesome, like everybody's really cool and respectful?
Everyone was really cool and respectful, but I do feel like if you are a competitor and you want to win and you compete, you put on that different hat when it's time to step up and do what you do. So I think if you're an MMA, you're a female fighter, I think there's just an understanding like, hey, there's no issue with you as a person, but I'm going to try and knock you out. You know what I mean? Like, that's just is what it is. And then, yeah, that's how I approach it. I'm all for women. I support women. I will be cool with you, if there's no personal issue, but I hope that they would come at me, as hard as they can. I'm not going to take it personally. And I hope that they know that I'll show up too.
Awesome, Cammy. I mean, I'm going to tiptoe around this one a little bit. I mean, you started in your MMA career, later than most people. You're a veteran now of a decade. Your first fight as an amateur you took in 2015. You got one fight as a professional, as you alluded to, against Jackie Cataline in 2022. We haven't seen you since. What's your why, and why do you still want to compete?
Because when I stopped, I definitely didn't want to end on that note. I had a lot of things going on in my personal life, my whole MMA career. And finally, when I was able to come to Vegas, take a break, kind of just really see what I wanted to do with MMA, I needed a break. I got that break. I did a few side projects. I wrote a book. I just really worked on a lot of other things. And at this point, I just want to have fun and continue to compete. And I feel like Power Slap is the perfect place to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, talk to me about the camp a little bit, because one thing that really stood out to me, was kind of how friendly the camp was.
Mhm.
A lot of people, forge friendships. You see on social media, a lot of people taking group photos, hanging out at night. I mean, I guess you being a local, you weren't subject, to that too much, because I'm assuming you went back home. You probably weren't
I
staying
did.
at the fighter hotel,
Yeah.
per se. But talk to me about the mentality that you went into this with. Like, did you go into it that you just wanted to have fun, or did you go at it as if you're fighting for a job and a spot on the roster?
I definitely went in with a good attitude. I always try and be a positive person and make sure everyone around me, is, having a good time, and they know that, as a person,
Mhm.
I like them and I enjoy being together. But yeah, I want the spot, I want the job. And as soon as we started learning technique, started slapping, got up there, with the stand, it got a little bit more serious. And I think I understood that. When we all came in, it is fun. It's exciting. It's this new opportunity. Everyone's there. There's so many different personalities. I think the sport is so funny because there's not like one certain body type. There's people that look like they haven't like worked out a day in their life and they hit so hard. So that's just interesting. There's so many different ages, backgrounds, all of that. So that's just a fun mix to be in, to get to know new people and have this experience together. It really is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I think that's felt in the room, but we also are all competitive. Like I said, like we want that spot. We want to do it, or else we wouldn't be there.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't know before going into it, but 40 plus athletes there. How do you stand out? How did you try to separate yourself so that you would get the eyeballs upon you and be able to display, your skill set?
I kind of have a signature look. My fight name that I was given is Cammy, double whammy. And so I just always stuck with it. I'm always kind of like in leopard print with braids. I kind of have like a sexier image. And so that's my look, that's my vibe. But then, most people look at me and think that I can't fight or that I can't slap or something like that. And that's not the case. So it's always kind of like that double whammy, I guess, is I look pretty girly, but I'll slap you in the face.
People don't expect that it's coming.
Yeah.
You talked about the seriousness of it. I mean, having Mark Smith from the commission there, spending upwards of, 90 plus minutes talking about the rules to kind of set the tone on day one, to kind of get everybody with the baseline. You get in then to the active side of it, and everybody getting their turn and their opportunity, kind of, if you want to say quote unquote, in the spotlight, up at the table that they've brought in. You had the champions, Brandon Bordeaux, Anthony Blackburn, helping you guys out along the way, as well as Robert Trujillo. In a lot of ways, all the contestants were kind of around in a semicircle, everybody watching. You had Mark Smith there, as well as Anthony held the head looking bob type of thing. Do you kind of think that was a pressure cooker moment that really put, all the eyes on you?
I don't think so. To be honest, I'm used to it. I fought before, I've been in there. So for me, it was actually a little less stressful. I just have to stand up there and slap someone. Like, that's a great day in the office for me. Just to rewind, Mark is
What's your day job then?
What'd you say?
If that's a good day at the office, what do you do for a day job?
I'm just saying, compared to MMA, where it's so grueling all the time, just slapping, like it's enjoyable, it's fun. I will say Mark was so amazing. Brandon was so amazing. Just to give us like insider tips and how they do it, they were awesome. And I'm so grateful that we got to meet with them. Mark was so good with making sure our technique was on, really watching our feet. In MMA, obviously, there's so much pivoting on your feet all the time. You can't do that on power slap. So that's one adjustment that I had to make at the combine was it's like, Mark, I need you, flag him over. Will you watch me slap a few times? And you just watch my feet to make sure I was doing everything right. So really appreciative of him. And he's just an awesome guy. They're all fun to be around. But I think you either enjoy the pressure or you don't, So I think it's fun. I enjoyed it. I want them to see that I'm capable and that I want to do it and I want to be there. So I thought it was a great time.
Love it. Kind of comparing yourself, I guess, to others. I know it's an individual sport, but do you think you did enough to stand out?
I do. Yeah.
Why? How?
Well, she can't say why. If you just look at her face, come on, man. He's trying to get her in trouble. Here, I'll redirect. Cammy, there's a lot of rumors about the coin toss. People think the coin toss is fixed and all this other stuff. You stood there. You don't have any inside info. You're not jaded. You have no dog in the fight one way or the other. If Mark Smith, based on what you know about him, says to you, "I do the coin toss. I'm not doing anything weird," do you believe him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like he feels like a trustworthy person. He's a
He
for
does.
people who don't know, he's a Air Force pilot veteran. He retired after 20 years. He served the country. Like, I don't understand this conspiracy that the coin toss
Is that
is fixed.
what people are thinking? Is that he like rigs?
It's this like running joke that just people believe that the coin toss is fixed, and it's like intentionally for one person or the other. And
No, I don't think so.
I'm not gonna pull this footage up by any means because it's meant to be private, but I will say that I did hear him say to you guys that exact thing. There's a coin, we flip it, it's not fixed. I don't care who wins. Like, it's a very interesting paradigm to kind of try to figure out why people think that way. But now that I've
mentioned that the coin toss, obviously I feel like everyone wants to hit first, but you'll watch footage of Brandon, the champion. He didn't win the coin toss. He got hit in the face, nothing happened. And then he comes right back and knocks that guy out. So I think, it seems like you would want that. But I think Mark said statistically, it hasn't really mattered. All of the champs are champs, for a reason. And I don't think Robert has won any of the coin tosses, if I remember right. So, and I know he's a champ. He's like, I think he's only won one or something. So we were talking about that. Like, does it matter if you win the coin toss or not? So I don't know.
I mean, I think a lot of the conjecture is because it doesn't take place in front of people.
Oh,
so
okay.
We got footage of it and put it out, and it changed nothing. People still said, like,
I'll have to watch it.
People were like, Erica and Mark, they came in on the Saturday to do this video so that Slap News could put it out. That's what happened. And they flipped it until they got what they wanted. Like, it's the most absurd conspiracy theory on planet Earth, honestly.
Okay, I'll have to pay attention.
Sorry, Corey. I just needed to redirect because I knew where we were going. So that's you, brother.
That's all right. That's all right. We're all good. Las Vegas is starting to get a pretty cool little vibe going on of slap fighters, specifically on the women's side. There's a couple of different gyms there that, the girls are coming together, learning from each other, practicing, etc. I'm sure I'm going to forget some of the names, but, Lauren Wise, Michael Michelle Brown, dang, help me out, dude. I know there's a long list of women in Vegas. Have you worked with any of them, or do you plan to get together with some of those women and start to prepare for whatever the future holds?
I have not worked with any of them. I have seen a few of them out and about, but I've never trained with any of them. And the ones that I can think of are smaller than me. So I don't think that really matters. But
Peter, Dusty McCubbin.
Yeah, I think they're all smaller. I think they're 125ers, if I'm not mistaken, I think.
Yeah. Well, Taylor Minton and Jesselyn Michelle, but they haven't really competed yet. They were in the camp too, so I don't know how much that would, but they're local also. They're
Morgan Fryer. Isn't Morgan Fryer from Vegas too? And then some of the wrestlers, So, I mean, it's building up to something cool. Hopefully there can be some kind of contingency. Honestly, appreciate you joining us. Great to get to know you. Hopefully this is the first of many. I know you don't want to say too much, but hopefully we see your smiling face again soon.
All right. Likewise. Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Take care. All right, Ding. Well, what do you think, Cammy Adams?
You're trying to air people's laundry out, man.
I didn't know we had off limits. We didn't have a pre-show call this week, so you didn't tell me what I can and couldn't say. So
I mean, bro, you can see her face. You don't want to.
I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at her face, dude.
You're like, you think we'll see you again? And she's like, yeah. And you're like, why?
It's really simple. You can see my eyes. I'm looking at the camera. When I'm looking this way is where the computer is. So I'd have to be looking at her over here.
That's a setup problem. You got to you got to be better, bro.
Anyway, dude, it's called media training. You always look at the
question
camera.
here.
You got to get better.
I'll let you answer this question.
All right.
Look, Kuko wants to know, so let me know. Am I on the block list? Yeah, look, let me put it front and center.
Is he on the block list?
Is he on the block list? He wants to
Power
know.
Slap?
Yeah, that's what it
Or on
sounds
the
like.
Slap News block list? Which one are we talking?
No, he's not on the Slab News block. Kuko knows Slab News is good. He's good. He's gold, good as gold. He's a platinum gold card member for Slab News.
100%. I mean, when we were in Florida,
He
he
wants
does
to know, is he on the block list for Power Slap?
I don't think so. Absolutely not. Power Slap is in the business of entertainment, putting on fights and doing good business. And if you're good for business, then you are good for them. I think you have to do some pretty outrageous things, Slap Jesus-esque type things to get on the block list. Otherwise, I think you are in the clear. All that I'd say is keep putting out content, keep working hard, keep grinding, and don't give up that dream. Yeah, be respectful. Exactly. It blows my mind. I mean, a lot of people think they're going to bash the organization, whether you believe you're getting a call or not, or you see other people coming in the organization. You can't bash the organization and think that you're going to get a call. At the end of the day, the people making these decisions are people as well. And if you think that you're going to talk negatively about the organization or the individuals personally on a personal level and attacking them, it's probably not going to go well for you at the end of the day. Unless you're, a John Jones-esque type person who can make the organization millions of dollars, which we haven't seen yet in Power Slap. So
even then, Dana White's saying he doesn't want nothing to do with John Jones for the White House card. Can you believe that? So even John Jones doesn't have Dana White privilege. You know who does? Slap News.
Do they? Love it. Too funny, man. Too funny.
I'm just joking. All right. I'm getting in trouble now. But yes. Like I said at the top of the show, if there's anything that shows you that you are not out until you have a letter that says you've been formally released from the promotion, its name is Stevie Ray Ellis. So please just hang tight. There's a vision. Sometimes you'll fit, sometimes you won't. And if you get an opportunity and you make a mistake and you get knocked out or whatever the case is, like that was your chance. Like take that stuff seriously. This whole idea of like, I've been knocked out 3 times and I'm going to go and I'm going to knock my next opponent out on the first strike. But you've been knocked out 3 times. You haven't won yet. Like you're kind of playing with fire anyways. So it's like, why would you feel entitled to another opportunity? And there's a few people who fit into that category. So please, you get an opportunity, take it seriously, be a professional, go up there, give your best. If you get knocked out, maybe this is not the thing for you. It's like Damien DeBell said, in the clip we posted the other week, this is Power Slap. You gonna get hit. He said it just like that. So I just wanted to be accurate. This is Power Slap. You gonna get hit. If you can't take a hit, you shouldn't be here. And that's from the heavyweight champion himself, arguably the second baddest man on the planet. So
yeah, trust me, man. I've been practicing. I know you're gonna put me on the chopping block later on. So I got where you're going with this.
Let's see. All right, let's move on to our next guest.
You want to see?
Yeah, let's have some fun. No, I don't want to see.
All right. I'm saving the tricks for later then.
Yeah. Zip your pants up. So our next guest, another participant in the Power Slap Combine this past week on last Wednesday. Again, full transparency, I don't know a ton about him. I know a tiny bit more about him than I knew about Cammy. That's just because he shared some stuff privately. So I'll let him talk a little bit about, what he's comfortable with. And we'll learn and get to know him together. He is none other than Vegas' own. It's not always been Vegas' own, but he's now Vegas' own. Mr. Luke Curtis. Luke, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Yo, broski Doni, Doparachi, Slap News. What is up? Certified Luke Curtis in the building, the one, the only. Like you said, Las Vegas now, but I'm from Miami, the 305. I'm a white boy, but I got a little sazon on me, so some people think I'm Spanish. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much.
I'll talk to you like you're Spanish, big dog. I don't mind.
Yeah, ya tú sabes.
We were just in Miami.
Know.
Hey, look at that, man. This guy's a stud. All right, I like him.
Yo soy Dominicano, bro. My wife is Dominican. I just got married in the DR, so life is good,
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You got a nice backdrop, man. I like that.
I'm just here chilling in my house. You know what I mean? Beautiful home out here in Vegas. Wasn't always like this. Me and my wife, when we got in professional wrestling, we were super poor. We met in Miami, moved to Orlando, lived in a motel. Horrible, man. Horrible experience. I remember the first time that we walked in, she cried. I'll never forget that. But wrestling has done very well for us. We've came up together, and Vegas has just been the next move for us. So we're new to Vegas. I've probably been out here less than 6 months, probably 4 months now. And yeah, I'm excited to be taking the next chapter. We move around a lot, and right now I believe Power Slap is the reason that we moved to Las Vegas. So we're super excited about this.
But when you made the move, you didn't know that, right?
Had no idea.
Nope.
We just knew that we were coming out this way. We wanted to do LA. We lived 3 months in LA before. I trained at the New Japan Wrestling Dojo out there. And we were just like, the taxes are too expensive, you know? So we were like, let's go to Vegas. We're a short shot from LA, you know, in case we got to do like acting or modeling or anything like that. And yeah, man, here we are, you know?
You said we. You said Power Slap brought we to Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Are you alluding to her as well?
No, she ain't doing it. She ain't doing it. You know, she should. You know, my wife is on AEW. She's a professional wrestler, superstar, much bigger star than I am.
Of course she is, buddy.
Yeah, it's got to be that way. You know, she just put out an album. Everybody go listen to This Is Layla. She's an artist, super talented. But yeah, I told her she should do at least one fight. You know, just do one, babe. But she ain't doing it, man. She said it's too crazy. You do the crazy shit. You know, next year I'm gonna run 100 miles. You know, she'll do the marathon with me, but she don't want to do the 100-mile marathon. She's like, the crazy stuff, like, that's for you. So
I love it, man. Well, I was gonna ask, you know, your background, but you mentioned a part of it, and I think based on that intro, people probably know that gift of gab. It comes from somewhere, and the wrestlers are notorious for just that thing, right? That's like you said.
I think it's the Miami, right? Though. I don't even think it's the wrestling. I think it's Miami. You know, I was a star way before I got in wrestling. So
how long have you been wrestling now?
I've been wrestling for 5 years in October. Me and my wife, we started the same day. I grew up an amateur wrestler, so I wrestled my whole life. I started wrestling when I was 5 years old. I played football. I grew up in Dade County. You know, the best football players in the world come out of Dade County. Some of the best amateur wrestling in the world is from South Florida. You know, so I wrestled in Florida, grew up that way. As soon as I got out of high school, I did some MMA. I trained at American Top Team. I used to train with Yoel Romero right before he came over to UFC. He was actually coming over from Bellator. So I was down there training at American Top Team for a bit. Had a couple of kids, man. I've lived a crazy life, man. You know, I had a couple of kids, got married, got divorced. You know, I became a drug addict. If you saw old pictures of me, you wouldn't even recognize me. You know, one day when we're in person, I'll show you, I used to have long hair, like almost down to my ass. I used to have a huge beard. When I met my wife, I actually looked like this. She was a bartender, and I just used to come in and drink, you know. So through, like, you know, us getting together, through professional wrestling, you know, I was able to get clean, get sober, and yeah, turn my whole life around, man. Like, I've done a complete 180. And yeah, I'm happy to be here, dude. Like, the opportunities, they just keep coming because of, you know, who I've made myself become. And this is kind of why, you know, I know that I would be perfect for Power Slap at the end of the day, because like what I've had to go through to get sober is way harder than getting slapped in the face, dog. Like, I've already been slapped in the face by life 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, bro. I've been on rock bottom, you know, and then I built myself into, you know, the man that I am today. So, but deep down inside, you know, I still got that evil in me. That demon still lives in there. So I think it'd be perfect to, you know, just unleash it across somebody's motherfucking face. You know what I mean? Just get a little bit of that tension, a little bit of that stress, because I don't get to do anything no more. You know, I'm on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, listen, there's not a lot of businesses where you get to slap the shit out of your coworkers. So kudos to you. I am curious. I mean, you said it, man. You've experienced a lot of life. You know, to call you a pro wrestler and put you in that bucket, I don't know if that's fully fair, because you've got a lot of other stuff going on as well. But I think naturally, once you say I'm a pro wrestler, anybody who's not a pro wrestler that's involved in the sport is going to say you're a pro wrestler. And so where I'm going with this is, when the pro wrestlers came in, and even to some extent, even now, even after some of them have performed back in June and made their debuts, people were like, this ain't, you know, write down the script. Here's what's going to happen. Do this and this and this and this. This is the real shit. and you guys ain't gonna do well here. For you, how do you? I guess what's your defense? Well, what do you say? Like, trust me, you underestimated me. Like, here's why I'll be able to do this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like when I saw the wrestlers doing it, I was a little bit jealous that I didn't get in on it because I was like, damn, what the fuck? I wasn't living here yet. And then all of a sudden, all these wrestlers were like getting in on Power Slap. And I'm like, fuck, man, how do I get in on that? You know? And then I started seeing people, you know, talk shit about the wrestlers. And I'm not going to fucking lie to you, bro. I'm an honest guy. I'm going to be straight up with you. I thought the wrestlers were going to get knocked the fuck out, bro. Straight up, dog. Like I love wrestling and I love wrestlers, but any motherfucking wrestler going to tell you that half the motherfuckers are pussy as fuck. You know, there's a crew of real wrestlers, guys that actually wrestled, guys that are legit, guys that are fighters, but a lot of the motherfuckers are nerds, bro. Straight up. So they there to entertain, they there to put on tights, and they there to be a superhero for some fucking kid, right? But then there's some of us that want to be taken as legit, and we want wrestling to be, you know, the old school way of wrestling where people believed it a lot more. You know, so when you watch me wrestle, my wrestling's a lot more believable than a lot of these other guys. You're going to think I'm in there fucking that guy up. You know, fuck the fans. I don't give a fuck about the fans. I'll spit in their fucking face, bro. And they know it. You know, so that's the difference between me and the rest of these other wrestling motherfuckers. You know, when it comes down to it, my shit is fucking real, bro. Every motherfucker says that they're an extension of themselves, right? I'm me turned up on 100. Well, this is what a real motherfucker looks like turned up on 100. I'm actually my fucking self. That's what separates me from the rest of these fucking wrestlers, bro. So if anybody think that because I'm a professional wrestler, I can't slap the fucking shit out of you, well, we're going to motherfucking find out, right? That's what Power Slap is all about.
Now, the people that you're looking to slap the shit out of, how much do they weigh?
170 pounds. I'm a welterweight, you know? And the welterweight division is fucking practically in shambles, bro. Almost all the matches are out for the card. There's not even a fucking welterweight match, you know? So I'm thinking that they're looking at guys that are my size to come in. Like obviously Babyface is the king of that shit, bro. You know, he's held down the top of that fucking division. And right now it doesn't look like nobody's going to stop him, right? You got the Cole Young matchup, you know, that's a good one. That's the draw, right? So the Cole Young matchup is the last one. And if that, I like, you know, like after, if he takes out Cole Young, what's next for Babyface, right? When you got a guy like me, you know, I'll do it like Street Fighter, bro. I'll be traveling around the whole world. I'll go from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1. You know, I don't care, right? But you know, I think it's a good time to be in, you know, the welterweight division. You know, welterweight's always been a historic division, bro. People love the welterweights. It's a blend of speed and power, you know. So the lightweight division and the welterweight division, like I feel like personally, like they need the most help right now. And I'm right here. I'm 175 pounds all day, every day. You know, I could go to 155, no problem, bro. You know, I run in the mountains of Las Vegas. I could lose 10 pounds in a day. You know, it's just all about what I eat or what I don't eat.
So what was that like seeing the, you know, the proverbial kings of those divisions, you know, standing right in front of you at the camp last week?
Yes. So seeing those guys, I'm very much a guy that does my homework, right? So when I decided that I want to do Power Slap, I probably watched every Power Slap twice already. Right. And you see some of the guys that come through Power Slap and you're like, oh, that's a scrub. Like, I'll knock him the fuck out. No problem. You know, but then when you start watching it and you start getting to know the characters of Power Slap, and this is where I'm like, damn, Power Slap really is going to take off, because once fans get behind, you know, these stars, the people that sit atop of the division, you know, you can really follow their journey. And like, you know, then I start watching, you know, Blackburn's matches and I'm like, this guy's a killer, bro. You know, Bordeaux, a killer. Trujillo, you know, I love Trujillo. He was my favorite striker coming into the combine. So I made sure to spend time with him. You know, he gave me so much great advice. You know, I definitely picked up the most from Trujillo at the combine. And that was by design, because I think he's just elite, you know, and he's the type of person that I vibe with, that I fuck with, you know. But being around all these guys, it really showed me that at the top of some of these divisions, it's very different from, you know, maybe 4 down. Right, in the rankings, there's a top 2, 3, 1 sometimes, like, and that's it. You know, these guys they reign atop, and there's a reason why. They work harder than the rest, and it shows. So seeing that in person was just, it was good energy to pick up. you know, like that champion mindset, they all have it for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Babyface is an enigma, man. Like he's not what you would write down if you were building your perfect athlete, or your perfect champion. He's shown everybody, and I think in some ways he's shown himself over the last year and a half. He's just been on a reign of terror. It started at Power Slap 7 in April of 2024 against KO Chris, and it continued on through Manny winning the belt, competing against Manny again at Power Slap 10 in December. Fast forward, welcoming Azael to the welterweight division, being one of the very few people to ever put him on his ass. I mean, the guy's been unstoppable.
And he really is the baby face. In wrestling terms, the baby face is the good guy. That's really who he is, because out of everybody in the whole Power Slap roster, he's the guy that I shouldn't like the most. Like when I'm like, I'm going to do Power Slap, I'm going to be welterweight, I'm like, I'm going to hate that motherfucker. I'm especially hate him. But then when I'm watching him win his matches and when I watch him win the title, I'm like, fuck, man, I really like him, bro. Like the guy really has heart. And that's the part of the enigma. He got something deep down inside of him. He got a drive. He got that dog in him. He got the heart. And it came out like, when he won the title and the emotion, even him thinking that he lost to Muniz, you could see him pointing over at Muniz like, I didn't win. Just somebody that you could tell is very humble. And, that's what makes him dangerous, because whatever he feels deep down inside, he's able to unleash it on the Power Slap stage, right? So I think a lot of guys hold a lot of stuff in. And when you're out there, it seems like, you got to bring it all out there. Similar to wrestling. Are people going to see through it? They're going to see you trying too hard, or they're going to see that you don't have the fire, you don't have the heart, you don't have the energy.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you seem to be, you're definitely a young cat, but you seem to be very wise in, your educational realm. You seem to do a lot of studying. Do you kind of feel that Power Slap is in a spot right now in America where wrestling kind of was, during that Cold War, kind of late 80s, early 90s? Do you think Power Slap is the for the people sport where you could be the mechanic, you could be the warehouse worker, and still come into this organization and be able to garner the spotlight?
Yeah. And, like it's like Dana White saying that Power Slap is going to become bigger than UFC. I'm telling my wife those things, and she painted it perfectly the same way you did. And she said, I can see that, because if you wanted to become a UFC fighter, you'll miss your window. And then your window's probably been missed, or it's going to take you 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years to train to be good enough to make it that far. But Power Slap, almost any motherfucker can get off the couch and be like, hey, man, I think I could slap the shit out of somebody, and then get up there and do it. Right. That's why you have Vern the Mechanic. Like when I started watching Power Slap at first, he was my favorite. I was like, bro, look at this guy. He's like a fucking older mechanic dude. Like just with, because I was a mechanic. I was a pipe fitter, a welder, right? Before I got into professional wrestling. When I was my druggy years, that's what I was doing. So I was making good money and all that. So I could relate to Vern the Mechanic, a guy that I just know has power because he was turning wrenches all day and could just slap the shit out of anybody, So I feel like, yes, the fact that almost anybody can aspire to be a striker in Power Slap, that's one of the things that's going to make it super popular. And the only reason the main reason people watch UFC is to see knockouts, and Power Slap going to deliver every time. Every time you're going to get to see it.
For sure. Right? And I mean, I think the simplicity, I think regardless if you speak English or not, you can figure out pretty quickly in one round what is going on. You know what's going to happen, and either you like it or you don't. So I think that's part of the beauty. But I got to say, man, checking out your Instagram profile, it's pretty ballsy, but I guess I wouldn't expect anything less. You've got the future of Power Slap in your bio. Explain, my man.
I think that's just who I am deep down inside, bro. I know that if you put a microphone in my face, I could talk, right? I know that I have a story to tell. I know that where I've been, and I know where I'm going. So basically, the moment of truth is if I could eat a fucking slap, to test my chin and to test my slap is going to be the moment of truth. But apart from all of that, I have all the tools to be the face of a company. All the tools. I'm handsome. I fucking got a hot ass wife. You know, I'm fucking successful, bro. I can talk. I'm fucking powerful. I'm strong. I work hard. I train. I dedicated nutrition. Everything that goes into me. You know, that's why I'm certified Luke Curtis. You know, everybody want to know what being certified is. I am the definition. I define what being certified is. It's a representation of who I am. I have all the tools. So I believe that, you know, when I work hard for something, I can achieve it. And I got to put it out in the atmosphere. I got to bring things to fruition. And I truly believe that once I'm given the spotlight and I really get into it, I will be the future of Power Slap. I'm at least going to be the future of the welterweight division. Shit.
Love it, my man. I mean, you know, in the short moment here that we've got to speak, you know, you explaining your background says a lot. I think it's, you know, on the entertainment side of things, I think it's well needed in the sport realm. And I think there's a lot of people that can really get behind your story. You seem to be doing a lot of good. I know that you're doing things more than just yourself. Obviously, you talked about your downfalls. You're very open and honest about everything that has brought you here to this opportunity in this moment. Really, I mean, I asked Cammy this at the top of the show, but you know, what's your why in the Power Slap for a guy like yourself who seems to be successful? Why do you want to get slapped in the face?
You know, man, I think honestly, and big shout out to Cammy. She was super cool at the combine. I think the reason why I want to do Power Slap is, one, I am a glutton for punishment. I think I've done a lot of really, you know, bad things in my life. Like, that's just the straight up truth. And I punished myself today because of it. This is why I'm going to run a 100-mile race next year. You don't just run a 100-mile race, bro. You know, that takes 30 hours straight running. You know, it's because I like to do hard things and I like to challenge myself, because that's what brings out the best version of me, right? When God made me, when God made Luke Curtis, he put in a pool of talents and skills. And when I nurture those, when I take risks, when I push myself to do difficult things, that's when the best me comes out. Everything that I've done up until this point in my life has brought me here to Power Slap. And also because of the fucking money, bro. Straight up. Because the money. I'm not here to make no fucking friends. I'm here to make fucking money, bro. Money, dog. I'm here to fucking talk. I'm here to slap. I'm here to run this shit up, bro. Help grow the sport. Help put some fucking dollar bills in some people's pockets, including myself, bro. You know, and then I want to give some of that back and help people for addiction recovery. I'm running the Las Vegas Marathon this month, unless Power Slap sends me overseas, you know, and I'm raising money for addiction and yeah, man. So that's my story. I want to give back to people. I want to help inspire people, motivate people, but I also just want to, you know, blow off a little bit of steam and get paid, bro, and go on this journey, man.
For sure. Talk to me about the camp. What was the overall feeling, vibes, and where do you kind of stand now?
Man, the camp was awesome, dude. Being in the obviously the UFC Apex was incredible. I mean, you know, I was smiling as soon as I came in. You alluded to Mark Smith earlier. I mean, talking about the coin toss, like that's the first thing I told my wife when I came home. Was I said they like to talk shit about the coin toss, but I really don't think this guy Mark Smith would lie about it. Like, this guy is like by the book, you know what I mean? So getting in there and being able to slap, because I had already put a pad on my wall. I've been training before I went to the combine, you know? So when I got to get in there and be around more people, it's a different energy. It's a different pressure, even though you're just practicing. So it was good to be able to throw some slaps in front of champions, in front of Mark Smith. You know, he's giving you feedback saying, okay, you're doing good. You're doing good, kid. Those slaps are good. People are watching your feet. They're checking all the cues that when I'm by myself in my garage and I can't check, they're doing that for me. You know, so being around the coaches, you know, being a part of the team, seeing what the future could be like. And obviously, like I said, big ups to Trujillo, you know, Robert Trujillo. He's the man, bro. So the first motherfucker that I knock out is going to be for him. That's for you, Robbie.
All right, Luke. You can't just come off as a nice guy. You can't play the baby face in this one. I need you to play the heel for a second. There was one person on the Power Slap roster that you would like to slap first. Who would it be?
On the roster? Oh my God. Give me any one of the welterweights, bro. But
come on, I need a name. I'm not letting you out. I need a name. Come on, I need a promo clip here. I need some energy. Let's go.
Chris Debo, fucking, fucking. What are these motherfuckers' names, bro? It could be
Chris
Cole
Thomas.
Young. It could be Manny
Chris
Muniz. I'm
K.O.
not even
Chris.
gonna call. Yeah, it could be any one of these motherfuckers, bro. Waylon Frost, bro. Andrew Fields is in lightweight. He could stay in lightweight. K.O. Chris is too fucking fat to make this, so he's going to go to middleweight. Let him go to fucking middleweight. But it could be any one of those motherfuckers, bro. I already told my wife, bro, this first motherfucker's dead, bro. It's the only scenario. The only scenario is knockouts every motherfucking time.
Awesome, man. I love it. I love the confidence. As you stated, certified Luke Curtis is Instagram official. And according to you, the future of Power Slap. Hopefully we see that on display really soon. Appreciate you for joining us, man. Love catching up with you. And yeah, you got a home here at Slap News whenever you need, my man. So be in touch,
thank you, guys. Hey, one more thing, bro. It can only go one way. I can only talk a bunch of shit and get embarrassed, or I could talk a bunch of shit and knock this motherfucker out and become a star. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one.
Sounds good, buddy. Take care.
Yeah, man.
All right, dang. Luke Curtis. Breath of fresh air on this show, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting it, to be quite honest. And yeah, definitely. As soon as he dropped Miami, a lot of things made a lot of sense. So I get it. We just visited
Luke might
there.
help us out with our Miami endeavors here.
Exactly. You know, overall, I think these strikers that are coming on the show, coming to the combine that we're having on the show, you know, it's exciting. It's energetic. I think the more of these camps they hold, I think the better the recruits become. I think they're refining in their strategy a little bit more. And as we're seeing, we're getting a wide mix, not only wrestlers, but MMA, you know, ex-MMA athletes. We're getting high-level Division I football players. And you can say, you know, we've seen that before, but, you know, even the likes of one Hunter Lombard, you know, at the Power Slap Combine is, you know, definitely a sign of things that are changing. And, you know, who knows if and how many athletes will get signed. But judging by the amount of cards that are lining up here for the rest of this year and into 2026, I know we've heard from, you know, Dana and the team saying they'd like to get to a regular schedule of approximately every 4 to 6 weeks having a Power Slap card. So potentially 10 to 12 events in 2026. They need to expand the roster, continue to be exciting. And, you know, I kind of said this earlier in an interview that I had. And, you know, we felt like the welterweight division was, you know, primed for a breakout about a year and a half ago. We've seen it come to fruition. Right now, we're kind of in the era of the heavyweights now in Power Slap and having its moment. The amount of, you know, antagonists and protagonists in the heavyweight division, the new entries to the division, the old guards that are still there at the top, like a DTP, Nate Bernard, and the new crop from, you know, Road to the Title Season 3 that's kind of adding some spice to it, having its moment now. But it hasn't really been talked about, but of what's going on in the super heavyweight division. And doesn't it feel like the super heavyweight division is the next division to truly break out in terms of excitement with the new entries into the division? Obviously, we've had some mix up at the top. Dane Vierna is now having the belt, which was previously Dumpling from DeCrazio Wine. So we've had, you know, consecutive changes at the top. We've got, you know, one McKinney Manu coming off a viral knockout of Dwayne Crespo, who obviously recently retired, as we alluded to earlier on in the show. There's a lot of excitement, and it feels like we're kind of just in that pre-time here. And I feel like the next year is going to be really good for these super heavyweights.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I mean, we've had this conversation regarding the evolution of the divisions, right? Kind of where they've been, where they're going. I think heavyweight was one that was probably always kind of blessed with the excitement. Light heavyweight also. Middleweight had some difficulty. Welterweight had some struggles. I even think super heavyweight. I think I'm comfortable saying super heavyweight had some issues as well. So I think the revitalization of all these divisions is really something that I don't think gets enough attention. Like, there was a time where some of these divisions, it was like, you know, what are you going to do? And it was something that wasn't appealing. And then it was like, oh, but what if we do this? Oh, that's not appealing either. So it was like, no matter where you turn, it was boring. And now it's not like that. Now you can sort of be strategic and make these matches up that people actually will care about. So I think it's in a better place than it was.
Mhm.
Super heavyweight, like you said. I mean, it's got a lot of interesting stuff going on. There's some people we haven't seen in a little while that we need to see. You know, obviously Kalani came back after a year off and had 2 back-to-back great performances, you know, but then we don't hear about him again. So who knows where he's at, right? Then McKinney's a guy who had the longer road. And finally, I think these last 2 performances have been those breakout performances that he's been looking for since he was on the show. And this last one has gone viral like a million times for different reasons. Like, not even just the knockout, him getting hit, you know, the opening of the eye, like the cartoonish, like Maui thing. And people really bought into that. And were like, man, this is a really cool moment. This guy just got the shit slapped out of him. And his instinct is to open his eye and go, did he hit me? Like, to have that wherewithal is just crazy. And it was a great moment.
Totally.
So, yeah, I think we're on the path to the right place. And hopefully, you know, we'll see that division shake out. Obviously, we know Manu versus
Dumpling.
Yeah.
That's I think, do we have our last guest waiting in the wing? She's been waiting for a little bit while.
Yeah,
let's get into it. I got to start out. I need the critique. So from 1 to 10, let's see what my rating is. All right, bring her on, Ding.
It's Tahine Tongan.
Oh, you're better than me.
I give that a 1.
A 1?
All right, he's
-1.
I got to work on that then. I've been practicing all week.
And it's not Tahine. Tahine it's Tahine Tongan.
Tahine. I don't know if he'll be able to do that because he's not blessed with that Hispanic like twang, but I can say it.
Let me hear it.
Go ahead, try it. Let's hear it, Corey.
What do you mean? You're what? I've already done it twice, and I got slapdog in the comments.
I'm not talking about Tihu. I'm talking about her name, Tahine.
Tahine?
No.
Better than Tahine.
It's like a ta'a. You gotta like. It's like
it's just
like
it.
It's just like Chief.
Okay.
Yeah.
K-I-L-E. It's an additional like you know.
All right.
You gotta take a step, man. But the Chihu, I will say it gets a 0.
Yeah, I said
it's
negative.
no better than the
-1.
one you sent me
all right.
3 days ago, bro.
I got something to work on. I'm going to stick with half of the Tongan twin. Talk to me. Power slap. Why now?
Why not? Why not? I feel like it's a big platform, and it's the same goal for me as for me and my sister, but not having her, still the same goal to change that lack of representation for Tongan women, because it's not every day you just go on TV or YouTube and say, oh, there's a Tongan girl right there. So anywhere I can represent my culture.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, that entire region, whether Hawaiian, Samoan, Tongan, I don't know, I'm forgetting the other one, but that whole region has really embraced power slap from the get-go, and still to this day, you know, by far we skew over-indexing in that part of the world, the content that we put out. Why do you think is resonating with those cultures? That's
obviously because there's a saying in wrestling, you don't headbutt a Tongan or Samoan or Polynesian at that. And there's a reason for that, because we got hard heads. Awesome. We're meant for this, the power, everything.
Love it. But for people that, you know, watching this show that have never seen you compete as a wrestler, kind of give us a bit of a background. Why did you get into it?
Why did I get into wrestling or power slap?
Just wrestling. Yeah, wrestling in general.
Okay. For wrestling, I feel like it's always been anybody's childhood. Growing up on wrestling, we grew up on wrestling Friday nights, Monday. I feel like it was one of those things where it was the right time. We were at the right place and right time. And the background history on that was we were backstage at our cousin, she's a part of Fifth Harmony. And Dwayne Johnson's mom, Atha, was there. She just kept telling us about how we can make history if we ever thought about entering the world of wrestling. And, you know, we just didn't really think about it because we're backstage, went home, thought about it, thought about our nieces, thought about our culture, and it clicked with both of us. We called each other and we were like, hey, wrestling. And then it was history from there.
Interesting. How many years ago was that? And do you kind of feel like, it was your natural calling that you never knew existed?
It was 2018, I believe. 2018. And yeah, just like with Power Slap, when I went to the combine, everything just felt right. Like it felt like that was the right, like it was right. Everything was so right. The feeling, the feeling about wrestling, the feeling about Power Slap just feels right to me.
Awesome. Well, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a small city in the Bay Area, Vallejo, California.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Very, very cool. You've probably traveled around all of the United States, competing on different circuits and scenes in wrestling. Talk to me about what the camp was like. Just the level of professionalism, the organization, and how it compares to some of the other stuff you've done in the past.
Man, being a part of the camp was super dope. The energy, just being there, knowing that is only the combine three, right? And just knowing that where Power Slap is at right now, it's so big. Like everybody knows about it. Like when I tell my cousins, I told my kids, they're like, don't end up on a viral video. But just knowing that it's still so new and the heights that it's going to reach even after, I'm gone, you're gone. It's so powerful just to be a part of it.
You made up a great point earlier on. You don't turn on the TV and see Polynesian women.
Mhm.
In a lot of ways, unless you're watching professional wrestling, you also don't see, Polynesian men. But if you tune in to Power Slap, up until this point, you've only practically seen Polynesian men. It feels like every match has a Polynesian male. Now you're bringing in Polynesian women yourself. You just talked about potentially your sister in the future. We also saw Hurricane T, who's Hawaiian, was in this last camp. When you think about it, generally speaking, professional wrestlers motivate each other to join. That's kind of how that surge came. But for you, you'll be probably inspiring in a segment of culture, meaning your culture,
Right.
all Polynesians, but also Tongan women. Like, how much does that mean to you? How much have you thought about that?
I think about it all the time. Just knowing that that's always been when we got into wrestling. Even before wrestling, we were playing basketball. Just having that mindset and knowing what we carry, that what we represent on our back. We're representing a whole island. And coming into Power Slap, I'm coming in, I'm fighting for my island. And when I'm representing my culture, I'm representing my family, my sister, my kids, my parents, the sacrifices they did to leave the island, to migrate to America, to create a better life for us. I'm representing that. So when I go out there, it's game time.
Now I'm breaking the cardinal rule. I apologize to Cammy earlier, but here we gotta ask this question because it's highly relevant. What weight class do you like to participate in?
Well, I asked them if I can, if they want me to cut weight, it would be heavyweight. So when I walked into that building, I looked around, and it's kind of the same thing with wrestling. I looked around and I'm like, nobody looks like me. Obviously, my sister looks like me. She came to support me, which convinced her to join too. Obviously, nobody looks like me. Nobody talks like me. Nobody is the same weight as me. So I was kind of coming in there like thinking that I would have somebody that was going to be around my same weight class. So heavyweight, I'm pretty sure that it would be something new since we don't have heavyweight right now in the women's division, which I'm all for. Build that heavyweight around me, line them up, bring them, slap time.
Yeah, you know what I noticed? Even for the male weight class, right? Super heavyweight generally isn't a weight class in the other professional combat sports. But when you look at what we've done in Power Slap, super heavyweight is one of the most dynamic and most exciting divisions. And then when you look on the
Right.
women's side, there are women's weight classes that have a higher threshold. At the moment, it's women's welterweight. But I mean, I think you're onto something here. Like you said, culturally,
Mhm.
like Polynesians have been extremely successful here. I cannot think of a single Polynesian who's been knocked out. If somebody in chat can help me on that. I'm pretty sure there's not a single Polynesian that's competed that's ever been knocked out in power slap. And if that's a stat that you posted, please can you guys just credit us? Because that's pretty wild. I'm thinking that in my head right now, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct. But I'm excited. You sound excited. Talk to me about your sister. You're saying she's joining. Is she joining? Maybe. Is it a maybe? Like, where's that all at? Because having two sisters coming at the same time would be crazy.
Right. So at first she wasn't all in for it until she came. I was like, well, just come support me. Come with me to the combine. She didn't come the first day. The second day she came, when we went back to the hotel, she told me, sign me up. I'm ready. So I'm excited because it was just me at first that wanted to do this. And then just to, go out and find myself, which is kind of what's different to not be, we're used to being a tag team. So being together all the time. So going out by myself, it was like, okay, I'm used to her like answering my questions or answering something that I can't answer. So it's exciting. We don't want to slap each other yet. But I'll slap her in Hawaii though.
So I'll give you a little I guess history. So we when Crazy Hawaiian was champion, I believe his brother had maybe just had beat Slap for Cash, and it felt like there was nothing else that made sense. And so the question was like, would you do this? Like, you and your brother, and then like we slap each other as kids and whatever else. And they were like, listen, if you pay us enough, we'll do it. But Dana was like, nah. Remember that, Corey? You asked him, and Dana's like, I feel weird about that. Having brothers slapping each other on stage. So I thought that was funny. But what did you know about power slap before you jumped in? Like, were there any people that you looked at that you were like, man, this is really cool, they're captivating? Or did you just kind of see like a clip and were like, whoa, that's cool? How were you introduced to it all?
My kids was watching TikTok videos, and some of the videos that went viral. Also, Hollywood Haley J. We wrestled with her for the same company that we used to wrestle for. So she was nobody knows, but she was kind of the one that set me on the right path to talk to. Shout out to Sin, and make my way to Vegas. So and then Maki Manu, we trained with him back then in LA, so we know him. Juicy, so a lot of us, we train together, we wrestle together, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not alone in the Tongan culture, right? You just mentioned Juicy. Kalani is also another one. But it's been, you know what? I misspoke. Kalani got TKO'd. He didn't get knocked out. He got TKO'd. He got TKO'd by another, but it was by another Polynesian though. It was by the Hawaiian, the Crazy Hawaiian.
So that's different. That's way different. It's like me knocking out my sister.
But how do you feel about that? Like, in theory, if there was to be this wave of Polynesian women, like where it's sort of like in the situation the men find the men for super heavyweight in many cases, where it's poly versus poly. How do you feel about that? Take your sister out of it, of course. Like,
take my sister
that's tough.
Because I do know. That's a great question, actually. Honestly, I feel like I'm all for it. I'm super all for it, but I just know that we wouldn't go as hard as we would against other people. But I'm all for it. I'm for anything that's entertainment. This is entertainment. Let's do it.
For sure. I mean, obviously you have that personality. What do you think the future looks like? I don't know if they've given you any indication. Like you said, it's not really, doesn't exist yet, so to speak. So what are you looking for as far as kind of what's next? Have they said anything to you about maybe what this will look like? Is there going to be an effort to sort of get women in a particular division? Like, what do you think is coming for you?
Well, at the moment, as we're speaking, they're looking for an opponent for me at my weight class. So I'm staying busy, staying ready, and just waiting for that opponent to come, that lucky opponent to come through and get that Tongan slap.
You better go trademark that right now.
I even said I would go to the men's division. That's how much I want it. Imagine.
Imagine that. I mean, we are in America, and apparently you can do what you want now. Men seem to come to women's sports, so Why can't it be the opposite?
I mean, we used to fight men too back then when we were kids.
Love it. Zita Zhang, you paired up with her day one of the camp. Did you know her ahead of time, or did you just naturally gravitate towards her? Talk to me about that relationship and how it was, holding pads for her and her holding pads for you.
Oh yeah, Zeta Zhang. We met her at one of the shows in Houston before, so we kind of knew each other. She's super awesome. I can't wait to see what she if she gets a fight, or because I know she came from MMA too and the wrestling world. So it was awesome. Like I said, when I went to the combine, it felt like home because I knew mostly half the people there, and we all knew each other. If not, we knew of each other. And in the wrestling world, we shake hands when we're going through the locker rooms, even if we're not wrestling each other. So it was pretty dope to see her.
Yeah. I mean, from the perspective of yourself as a competitor, you talked about kind of, the mutual respect you have in wrestling. How did the entire aura and vibe of the camp feel to you?
Man, the energy was super high. The vibe, everybody was there, was just happy to be there because, most of us was pro wrestlers. So coming from another sport to come here, it just felt like it was easy. So the vibe was there. Everything was good. It just felt great.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot to be that girl. If there was one thing on the combine they could change, what would you suggest?
For my sister to go to the combine.
Awesome. I thought you were going to say, let us slap somebody, because you didn't get to slap anybody there.
Oh, yeah. So we all thought we were going to slap. Most of us thought we were going to slap each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would change that. Because I was ready. I was ready to
I
take
would
a
like
slap
to see,
and give one.
I would like to see her be able to slap Robert Trujillo.
So would I.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Me?
100%.
100%. I'm down.
I think that would be perfect.
Can we actually make this a charitable event? Do you have a charity you want to support? And if we hit a certain fundraising goal that Robert will let you slap him, I think we should start this.
I mean, if you want to get
I'm down with it.
for sitting down the lightweight champion, I mean, then go for it.
Dude, I'm sick and twisted.
Can I take his belt?
It might be a tough sell. Can you imagine? Like, you're getting Robert Trujillo as an opponent, and they're like, dude, you got knocked out by a girl. Can you imagine that?
I'm gonna raise
not
the
just
stakes.
the girl.
I'm gonna raise the stakes. You knock out Robert.
That's fair.
You knock out Robert, I will give you a belt. How about that? I will raise the stakes.
Man, I'm down. Where's Robert at? Someone send this to him. I hope you're watching, Robert.
So, I've been notorious for this. People think that, here's the thing. Whenever I set bounties out, people think that it lives on in infamousy and the number continues to grow. So I'm going to put a 1-year time frame on this. If you knock out Robert publicly and you let it Slap News exclusively cover it, I will give you this belt if you knock him out. How's that?
Can you put Tonga to it?
I'm sure we can get somebody can put some rhinestones in here.
Oh
or something,
man,
maybe
let's make it
there.
happen. I'm ready.
Ding's shaking his head because I see some pretty stupid shit on this show.
We're gonna get sued. This is it. That's the end of Slap News, bro. We take out the
That's going viral.
champion.
That's going viral too.
Yeah.
I will say there are strikers, and I don't know why they do this, but notoriously after the events, there's an after party. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but this is. It's like a Power Slap exclusive thing. There's always an after party in the high limit room at Fountain Blues. And then when we were in New Orleans, they did it at Caesars. The one that I can think of off the top of my head, but I know there's been more, is when Isaiah let Chelsea smack him. And she smacked him hard. And that was on video. And it went viral, to your point. She didn't knock him out.
You guys gotta send me that link. I didn't see that.
Yeah, he definitely let Chelsea unload on him. So, yeah. I don't know if Isaiah will let you unload on him, but I know he's let people unload on him.
No, don't switch it up. We got Robert. Don't switch it up now.
Yeah. She wants to pick. She wants to pick on the daycare. On the daycare.
How are you taller than him? How tall are you? That'd be.
I am taller than him.
Dude, come on, man.
5'10".
Oh, you're taller than me.
Come on. Her children are probably bigger than Robert. Come on.
Yeah, 6'4", 6'4".
There you go. See?
6'4", 15 years old.
Come on, man. Dang, your son's bigger than Trio. Let's
Bro,
go.
you can't do the lightweight champion like that, man. It's not nice. I see the
It's
Bob
fair.
back there.
Hmm?
How well do you treat the Bob behind you?
Oh, the Bob?
Yeah. You just like walk
So
by
I
and
just
slap him
named the
over?
Bob Robert. So we're going to change Bob's name to Robert.
Love it.
This
I
guy's
like
in a lot of trouble.
I'm going to
I
get a
like it.
headband and put Robert on it.
Wow. What do we
Love
just
it.
start? Listen, I love the energy though. It's a pleasure to meet you formally. I think people are gonna be excited. Based on the chat, people are excited about everybody tonight, but I'm excited. I didn't know this.
Excited.
You taught me some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm expecting more Polynesian women. And I'm expecting all they gotta do is find one right now.
All we need is one.
That's it for now. And we can talk about the rest later.
More than one.
And
a couple, and then I'll get to my sister. I got a question for y'all. Me or my sister? Who y'all think gonna win?
I gotta see your sister.
I don't know who the sister is either, so I'm going with you.
I gotta see your sister.
I was only there to one of the camps, so I didn't see her.
Because your sister can be like Nia Jax for all I know.
She's actually taller than me. I'll slap Nia Jax too.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Well, I got to be honest here, and you're gonna hate me for it. I'm probably not the first person. I look at the photos on Instagram. Yeah. I can't tell you who is who. So you got me on that one.
I think the people that when we're in our gear and everything and the makeup, you can't tell.
You can't tell or can tell?
You cannot tell.
Okay. Like, are you guys identical twins?
Yeah, we're identical mirror twins.
Okay, so there you go. So you can't blame me. Come on. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Hopefully Robert got a twin somewhere.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Get us in big trouble.
There's someone who's just as sick and twisted as I am, so I love it. I love it. You are my official favorite power slap athlete, and you're not even in power slap yet.
Yes.
So, there we go.
Is this your twin? I think your twin might be in chat. She did get hit by a whole Chevy. Do you want to tell that story quickly?
Oh, she's in the chat? Oh, yeah.
It says 13-14 twin, and they say you got hit by a Chevy.
By a chef?
Chevy.
Oh, okay. I thought she was, because I got hit by a bare knuckle fighter. He was in bare knuckle in training. He hit me, knocked my tooth out. I didn't knock out. I just went, okay, that was it. In training. But then I also got back in March of this year, I got hit by a Tahoe Chevy in the parking lot while I was on a scooter. Head on.
Amazing.
Lost my, two front teeth. Lost that. Had a big old, my mouth was big. Like, you got to look on my Instagram photos.
How many teeth have you lost? There seems to be at least 3 in the last 30 seconds.
People just want to hit me. Thankfully it was veneers, so that knocks out. But when they cement it, it's supposed to be just as good as teeth, regular teeth. So you had to hit me that hard.
Yeah. So I do got to ask you, since you said that, since you made a comment about, I think it was a WWE Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
You're familiar with what I'm talking about, right? The documentary that came out.
Yep.
I don't remember who it was. It might have been Chelsea Green, but somebody said it's all right. These teeth ain't mine anyway. And then somebody else looked at her like, "Oh shit, did you just say that?" She's like, "It's wrestling. We all got veneers." Is that true?
I don't know about everybody. So I got veneers because me and my sister had a gap in our teeth. So that's why we got our teeth are still there.
You didn't like braces? You just like
kind of like that. I don't know how to explain it.
You could have got braces or Invisalign, but you went with veneers.
Yeah. I didn't have time for braces. But that's why I tell everybody, I tell my kids, I was like, if they're not gonna hit me harder than a Chevy Tahoe, then I feel sorry for you.
What a tagline. Holy shit, I like that. Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, though. It's not really a funny thing, but the way you're making it is kind of amusing, but it's not funny by any means.
Mhm.
I'm glad that you're okay.
Thank you,
Um,
thank you.
Mm. Were you trained under Rikishi?
Yes, yes. Me and my sister was trained under Rikishi. That's where we met Maki. He came and trained with us for a couple months. Juicy also came too.
Nice. Very, very cool. I gotta start calling Maki. I call him Makini. So maybe I've been saying it
McKinney.
wrong.
I
the
know.
whole
Every
time.
time you say McKinney, I'm like, who's McKinney?
Maki. Okay. Okay. Look at that. You're educating me in the slap game already.
Mhm.
So awesome. We appreciate you joining us. Great to be able to talk to you, get to know more
Thank
about you. And hopefully we see you up there.
You will. You
I
will.
was gonna go somewhere with Julia, and I was gonna say her nickname, which you probably know, but I'll leave it for another show. Hopefully we see you slapping someone real soon. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Thank
Enjoy.
you.
Bye. All right, dang. We're starting
Big
a
show,
movement.
man.
Starting a movement again. And we haven't even talked about the matches on Power Slap 15. And I mean,
Well,
we're already an hour and 20
We
in.
like random. All right, so let's do it quickly. Rapid fire. Go ahead. Say them all off the top of your head right now.
Say them all off the
Wait,
top of my
somebody
head.
did say in the chat, they keep asking. No, she did not say weight specifically. She just said heavyweight. So we'll leave it at that because
Yeah.
it's all good.
For sure. I mean, Hollywood Haley J versus Ellie Dempster going to be taking place. Ellie Dempster, obviously, last time we seen her victorious over Michael Michelle Brown. And obviously, a disqualification victory. Hollywood Haley J, who we recently seen, I believe she fought Jamie Hinshaw on the tape card at the last event in Las Vegas. It's a big fight. It's a real big fight, I think, in the women's division in the 125. And definitely excited for this one. How about you?
Nah, I'm not excited.
No?
Nah, man. Of course I'm excited. That's Hollywood Haley J, man. I mean, nothing against Belly, but just I think that I've always said it, man. Like she's the female version. Obviously, she's her, and she doesn't need to try to be anybody else. But when I met her, I likened her to the female version of Austin Turpin in Power Slap. Obviously, she's not Austin Turpin. She doesn't need to be Austin Turpin. She's Hollywood Haley J. But I was just saying that gift that she has, she's really I mean, even though she kind of like smothers you with her personality, you just can't help but love it. Like even though I think her intent is to be mean or to kind of piss you off or get under your skin. If you're standing across from her, I think that might work. But if you're watching, I don't see how you could not like her. She's got everything about her, but she's got a tough test in front of her. You know, she's going up against Ellie Dempster, who took on Michael, who had a plethora of experience when they competed. It was on short notice, you name it. And yeah, I mean, I think, you know, any numbnut that watches this crazy sport would think that this has to mean that there's a short list to a title, you know, with these matches that are taking place. I would venture to bet that Paige VanZant's on one half of it. And, you know, there's a potential, you know, I think there's some other people that could potentially be in the running that had wins that night, right? Destiny McCubbin, somebody that won at 125. Obviously, Michael's still always right there because she kind of defeated herself with that DQ. So I think it's a very short list. So it's a very high likelihood that this person who wins this fight is a fight away from getting a title, or potentially, if for whatever reason they choose not to, you know, have an additional match, then potentially going for a title. So I think it's big stakes. And I do want to clarify, all of these matches that we've announced so far are on the live card. Actually, let me not say so far. Those are the matches. There's 8 that's been announced. We got Brandon Bordeaux, Isaiah Quinones, the trilogy headlining. Austin Turpin versus Stephen Ray Ellis in the co-main. We've got Nate Bernard versus Aaron Turner. Abby Montez versus Jackie Catalan. We've got Hollywood Haley J versus Ellie Dempster. We've got Trent Bordeaux. Fucking me up, man. Brandon Rhodes versus Trent Bordeaux. Craziest stuff, and we're gonna talk about all of them. Who am I missing, Corey? Help me out. Juicy Finau versus Zach Lansing, and I believe
Stunt Marshall, AJ Hints.
AJ Hints. There you go. Static returns after over a year off. Last time we saw him was at Power Slap 7 against Azael Rodriguez, and he comes back, draws Stunt Marshall, who's on the right side of a highlight reel KO, but he hasn't taken a hit, and I think that's going to be the question here. I also would like to respond to chat. Turpin versus opponent at 240. I am 95% sure Austin Turpin makes weight, and I will just say that.
Are you a betting man? Are you a betting man?
Yeah, I'm 95% sure. I will take bets on that. That's how sure I am that Austin Turpin makes weight. I've seen how much Austin Turpin weighs today, and he will make weight.
All right. So the Slap News DMs are open. Ding is taking bets in there. Get your bets in today. Slap_news over on Instagram if you think Austin Turpin will make weight or not. Now we turn into a gambling house. Oh, buddy. Love it.
Hit out on Robert Trujillo. Like, come on.
I'm just going to say one thing. Hollywood Haley J better enjoy this moment being Ding's favorite slap fighter because there's one Mio Ding coming.
Why are you trying to get me in trouble, bro?
No, I'm just saying it, man. Come on.
I'm in trouble. You calling her my favorite slap fighter?
Yes.
People are gonna tell me I thought I was your favorite slap fighter. Like we're close. Like you can't do that, bro. Yeah, who's your favorite slap fighter? Dwayne Crespo. He just retired. So who's your new one?
I already told you.
Aaron Turner. Who?
I already told you. We're not listening to the show.
Oh, Tahine.
Excuse me. Tahine is my new favorite.
Okay, that's fair.
But if you play it back and you listen to what I said, I just dropped a little alpha. You'll see what's coming. And
I don't listen to what you say, man.
So of course you don't.
Yeah,
of course you
I work hard not to. But let's start at the bottom of the card.
We're actually going through it tonight. We're going through it tonight. Okay,
let's just do it real quick, bro. We can talk. We're gonna wait a week. Wait a week. We don't make people wait. This is the now show.
Let's go.
AJ Hinch versus Stunt Marshall.
Fucking Static. Phenomenal.
Former lightweight champion.
Phenomenal matchmaking. Let's be real. Absolutely incredible. Right now, obviously, Stunt Marshall, the highlight reel knockout of Dante Smiley. All the questions around him. Can Stunt Marshall take a hit? He's heard it ad nauseum. Static AJ Hinch. Let's talk about the original light heavyweight champion at 205 coming down to that middleweight division. His last match was against Azael Rodriguez at 185. So we've seen him once, but people tend to forget, and the recency bias that comes along with, the sport in general. Everybody will look at what Stunt Marshall has done. And I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about one AJ Static Hinch. AJ Static Hinch was truly the pioneer, I believe, of precision. The guy in a lot of ways, maybe does, maybe doesn't, but he has very small, tiny hands, and he's always had that ability to find the button very early on in his career. And really the true testament of him has been his defense. He's a guy that has had strong, neck strength very early on. I mean, I think you went all the way probably to power slap 5 or 6 before someone had a stronger neck than Static. Very early on. It's been I believe that the power slap 7, was it 7 last time we seen him? About a year and a half ago,
against Azael.
2024 against Azael was the last time we've seen, AJ Hinch. I think time away is going to be good for AJ. AJ fought a lot, in the first year that he was competing. I think time away is going to do good for him, and he's a tough out. What's going on?
I got to call a timeout.
Why is that?
We are about to hit an hour and a half. We got 6 more fights to go through. Wait, I need the abbreviated version.
That's what I was saying, Dig. I thought you were rushing me off.
We're gonna bore the people. So AJ Hinch,
right.
AJ Hinch versus Stunt Marshall. Stunt Marshall's never taken a hit. AJ Hinch is coming back after a year. A lot of shit to see. We'll find out who's real, who's not. Does AJ still have it? Is Static, or excuse me, this is the fucked up part. ST is hard. So AJ Hinch.
As long as there's no D in there, we're okay.
Whatever. Is the year and a half off gonna fuck with Static AJ Hinch, former light heavyweight champion, a guy that prides himself on an incredible neck strength, and also has a hell of a whack on him, versus a guy who has one of the craziest knockouts we've ever seen on his first strike ever, and the first strike in that match, but he's never been hit. But he is a professional wrestler. He was hit by a car when he was 2. If you haven't seen that story, go check out Stunt Marshall's first interview on our channel. Moving on, we talked about Haley James and Ellie Dempster. Now we're going to go to Zach Lansing Juicy. Go ahead. Hit me with it.
All right.
60 seconds or so, please.
Hit you with it. All right, let's go. Juicy, obviously victorious the first time up in power slap. Fun, loving guy, Tongan, through and through. And we've seen him go up there and show former wrestler taking on Zach Lansing, who lost his debut to Ro Montagna. He gave up, he had 80 pounds over, Ro Montagna in that first match. But every single hit that Zach took, there was no moving him. The amount of muscle that he carries is absolutely phenomenal. I think this is going to be a much more competitive matchup. This is going to be one of those dog fights, I think, through and through. We're going to see the grit and determination of what athlete wants it more in that super heavyweight division. And as I talked about earlier about the super heavyweight division getting a lot more exciting here coming up, I think these two athletes are going to be a big contribution to that. It sucks that one of them is going to have to get a loss on their record early on, but I think both of these athletes are going to come in to super heavyweight division, hold ranking in that top 10, and definitely light some things up going forward here.
100%. Two big boys. Zach Lansing made some errors in his first match, but he looked good. That what's the word? Help me out. Dexterity, right? That rotational ability that he has for such a big guy, incredible. We saw Juicy overcome some adversity. Micah hit him with some shit, I think in round 2. Took a few steps back. If that dude goes down, it's gonna be tough for him to get back up. He's a big guy. And I think the same is probably true for Zach Lansing, especially with those Timberlands if he wears those again. So excited, man. A lot of power between these two guys. I'm excited to see what happens. I honestly think somebody touches the canvas at some point in time, but we'll see October 3rd. Who else we got? Who's the last fight in the Brandon Rose, Trent Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Trenton Bordeaux looked very, very reminiscent of his brother. Obviously, you can tell they've been training together. Their strikes look identical. And funny enough, his father disclosed to Slap News, many events ago that he actually believed Trenton is actually more of the natural athlete and believes that his ceiling could be potentially higher than his brother, Brandon Bordeaux. I know that's big words to say, but Trenton definitely has the confidence, and even during the introductions, spoke about his brother in that way, and wanting to go after what he has, and if any signs of the brother being relatively similar to Brandon, I think we've got a great slap fighter on our hands. Brandon Rhodes, always a tough out, a guy that's been around the Nebraska Power Slap. Love him. Continue to bring him back. We've seen him last time in New Orleans where he fought Manny Muniz, pulled out the victory there. A guy that has a crazy, job in his day life working offshore, on the oil rigs, etc. But a guy that has all the pieces, can put it together in any particular fight. And what he does, can turn the lights out of anybody. So going to be an exciting fight.
Yeah, like you said, just took on Manny Muniz July 18th at Power Slap 14. That's a former champion. Manny looked like he was uncomfortable on the opposite side of those strikes there. Obviously Manny incredibly tough, not a guy that's seen the ground very often in Power Slap. So for Brandon Rhodes to, get him out of his element and then get a decision victory over him in 3 rounds, very impressive. Especially because Manny was turning around after a dominant performance against KO Chris. You look at his career as a starter, road to the title season 2, knocks out Ronald Stanton in a really scary, vicious knockout. Fast forward, gets his second opportunity, shatters the orbital socket of Edward Salazar, gets DQ'd for that. Then he fights Brandon Bordeaux. Brandon Bordeaux shows him at the time, there's levels to this. You're not ready yet. At the prelims it was the tape prelims of Power Slap 8 back in June of last year. And if I'm not mistaken, he fought the Chief. Then he fought the Chief, got his win money because he had such a crazy heart after getting fouled in the first round. Got knocked down all 3 times. Didn't see him for a while. Then he comes back against Manny in a surprise at middleweight, and he dominates him. Trent's got his hands full. This is a hell of a debut. Honestly, it's unusual to say, but I think the pressure of the world's on both these guys because everybody wants to know, is this guy the same, better, whatever, compared to his brother, who's been extremely successful. And on the flip side, Brandon Rhodes has been here. He's the seasoned guy. He's the one who's competed. He should, in theory, get this victory. But that's the beauty of Power Slap. Moving on, Abby Montez, Jackie Cataline. Did we talk about that last week or something?
I don't feel like we had too much.
Okay, let's do it. Go ahead.
Obviously, these athletes were supposed to face each other in August in MMA. Abby Montez had some visa issues. Unfortunately, she was not able to compete. Jackie Cataline here on Slap News, with yourself, Ding, I forget which particular event. Was it in Vegas? Power Slap 13, spoke about wanting to be able to fight Abby Montez in Power Slap 13. She kind of called her shot, in a lot of ways. And now it's coming to fruition. Jackie Cataline is incredibly active. She's competing in everything from karate combat, MMA, being a true fighter through and through. She's an athlete that wants to remain competitive, throughout her entire career. And, somebody that is, loved by the sport, whether you love her or hate her, you definitely tune in to watch her. And, that's part of the reason why Power Slap keeps bringing her back time and time again.
Yeah, you know what? Like you said, Jackie's had a very, inconsistent career, I'll call it. As far as, a lot of steam in the beginning with the knockout of Sheena, the DQ, comes back around, takes on Katarina Lehner, then takes on, I'm trying to do this off memory, I apologize.
Robin
Was her
Warchuk?
third fight? Robin Warchuk loses to Robin Warchuk, who's making her debut in Abu Dhabi Power Slap 9. Then takes on Sheena in the rematch Power Slap 11. That match looks a lot different. And I don't think we've seen her since then. And now we're going to see her again here October 3rd. Obviously, like you mentioned, Abby Montez, Jackie Thomas, completely just looks untouchable. Takes her strike with ease, sits her down in one, gets her out of there early. Like, incredible performance. Obviously, like you said, there's the history in the MMA. They didn't compete. They were supposed to compete August 9th for Lights Out XC. It didn't happen. Now we get in Power Slap October 3rd at 1:45. Very exciting. And this will, I think, mean a lot for the future of these ladies. Next one is Aaron Turner and Nate Bernard in the rebooking of what was originally supposed to take place at Power Slap 14.
Absolutely. That match, Bodyguard versus Bodyguard. We just dropped the interview for Aaron Turner over on our YouTube channel. Two big guys in that heavyweight division match that has to take place. Aaron Turner was, almost a carbon copy of Nate Bernard. A year later, per se, two of these guys, Nate Bernard looking to stop the slide of the losing streak that he's on. Aaron Turner looking for that real decisive victory for someone at the top of the division. Last time we seen Aaron Turner was against Ro Montagna, who was a last-minute fill-in for the match originally against Nate Bernard. Supposed to be taking place in New Orleans this past July. That didn't happen. There's not a lot to say. I feel like we've said everything we could leading into that first match. And, it just fate has to hold its time. And this match needs to happen in the heavyweight division. And seemingly we're going to get it come October 3rd.
Yeah, you know what? I'll make my comments on this short and sweet. Ditto. Austin Turpin, Stevie Ray Ellis, everybody's mind blown. I'm just saying what the comments are saying. People are like, this is ridiculous. I've never saw this coming. Blah, 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 blah. Austin Turpin will make weight. He'll get on that stage. Stevie Ray Ellis, in theory, will make weight. He'll get on that stage. And somebody will lose. And somebody will win. Listen, I'm not a matchmaker. I got nothing to do with it. I can tell you, without divulging anything private, I can say that there were some other people that were looked at. It didn't work out, and we got Steve Ray Ellis. And Steve Ray Ellis got a hell of an opportunity. Congratulations to him. Kudos to him for taking the match. And like Corey said, he talked to him earlier. We'll post that interview. You guys will get some whatever he's able to give you about how this all took place. But again, I said it earlier, he's the perfect example. If you ain't released, you ain't out of the fight.
For sure. And I mean, a guy that has everything to gain, truly has nothing to lose. As you said, his name hasn't come up in the circles now for the better part of 6 months, 8 months, a year. It's been a long time. And so it definitely wasn't someone who you thought would come out of this mix, different weight division, everything else. But in Power Slap, you have a fighting chance. Just look at Ellie Dempster, Michael Michelle Brown. Michael Michelle Brown had all the confidence in the world taking on a newcomer, and look at what happened. So you never know in this sport, any one strike can change things. And I think, if anything, I think Stevie Ray is definitely going to bring the energy to match one of Austin Turpin, which isn't easy, but I think it's going to be a very comical, entertaining lead up into this match, and should be an exciting one.
Yeah, you know what? The one thing I'll say about this before we move on to the main event and then we close out, Austin Turpin is the big question has been the weight, right? He goes against Vern, comes in at like 230 and some change. Vern comes in at 225. There's some rumor, and I think we also reported that originally it was a catch weight. That was not a contracted, weight. That was more like a informal deal. So Turpin comes in a little over that, whatever. There's some conjecture about, but he was 227 the night before, so the scale must be wrong, whatever. Listen, doesn't matter. Bygones are bygones. He still didn't make 205. That was the question. The question has been, Austin Turpin has not made 205 pounds since Power Slap 7. I believe Power Slap 7, he missed weight against Ron. Power Slap 8, he missed weight against Vern. So it was before Power Slap 7, which was April 2024. Yes.
I'm not sure.
April 2024. So I feel like he makes weight, but then he beats Stevie Ray Ellis. There's still going to be questions. So people are going to say, you know, you got fed a can, blah, blah, blah. So I think honestly, Austin Turpin is in the worst predicament in this whole thing. And kudos to him for saying, you know what, I still want to compete. I still want to make weight. I still want to go out there. Because I honestly, truly believe, aside from, you know, his purse and proving that he can make 205, I don't think there's a ton of upside here. I'm just being honest with you. Like, there's no shot. There's no world where he wins this fight and then goes to a title. Like, this is not a good, you know, ladder or trajectory for Austin Turpin. I think he knows that. So, like you said, and we've said it at length, Stevie's got everything to gain. Austin has everything to lose. And I think that makes for spectacular TV, because there's whatever chance you believe it is. I know most people like Turpin by, you know, they were saying funny shit like Turpin by decapitation, you know, rest in peace, Stevie, you'll be missed, like just whatever funny stuff. All jokes aside, anything can happen at any time. And if Stevie was to pull this off, it would be arguably the biggest upset in Power Slap history. So we'll see that October 3rd. Obviously, the main event, which we've known about for quite a while. But I think having his brother on the card changes a little bit of the stakes here, because it's like you can't bring your baby brother. And I think what happens to his baby brother in that evening is going to play into his head for sure. I mean, he's a brother. He's an older brother. Mm-hmm. They seem very close from what I can see. Like, he seems to be locked in with him. And so what if his brother loses? What if he gets knocked out viciously or whatever? Or even if he wins? Like, whatever happens, I think it emotionally will impact the champion. So I think that is something to be, you know, to keep an eye on, because it's inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's funny. It's the first time you actually bring it to attention, but you know, KO Chris Thomas, when Jackie Thomas fought on the undercard when KO Chris was, you know, going up to compete, and you know what, it got in his head. His sister got knocked out in the early prelims, and it messed with his psyche. And in a lot of ways, you know, Brandon Bordeaux, you know, and Isaiah Quiones, these athletes are very evenly matched. It's, you know, a sport of, you know, quarter inches. You make a mistake and it's over. Both athletes have proven they've been able to find the button and can attack, you know, any opportunity that is given. And, you know, for a lot of ways, you know, and I hope it's not, but, you know, Brandon is going to have a lot of pressure on him. He's going to have family in town. He's going to have other distractions, and hopefully that doesn't impact his performance. On the other side, I mean, I'm just going to say it. Isaiah Quiones, the dude is pissed off right now, and you can say it deservedly so or not. He's tired of it. He wants to be done. I don't think we've seen Isaiah, the pretty boy, who's been the nice guy. You know, he's spoken out a little bit, but I've never seen him with this amount of, you know, excitement, energy, enthusiasm, adrenaline. I mean, the dude is already going 110% right now, and we're 3 weeks away. I think this is going to be the most hungry and tenacious Isaiah that we've seen. And I think it's going to be a match for the ages. And I think everybody, you know, wants to see the next evolution of this welterweight division. We've seen, you know, the trilogy happen, and we'll be able to move on after this and put it to rest.
Hot take. This match makes it out of the first round. Hot take. You heard it here first. This match makes it out of the first round. I think both guys cannot afford to lose this fight as far as they're concerned. And I think they've both learned quite a bit. I think recovery here is the key. And Isaiah made the mistake the second time. Brandon made this mistake the first time in their recovery and how they did that, not kneeling, etc., getting up too quickly. So I think they've both learned, and I truly believe that that's not going to happen. And now I've been in here too long because you can hear the jungle behind me. So I think it's time that we wrap.
All right, let's go. Appreciate you thing. As you know, Smack Talk going down every Wednesday, same place, same time, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock in the East. We appreciate everybody for joining us. Much love, much respect. Next week will be 1 week closer to Power Slap number 15. Same place, same time. Take care, my man. Enjoy the week. Stay tuned to Instagram for all of the updates that are to come. We keep bringing you world-class breaking news day after day after day.